Hello everyone, hope you have an amazing day and welcome to my new blog. So today we discuss about how to improve your management skill. So if you get promoted to a management position, you know you are already an asset to your company. So you have proven yourself to be useful contributor at your job and you must have shown some innate pupil management skills which increases output and engagement in your company. So however, as an unexperienced or first time manager, you may feel like you have been thrown in at the deep end. Perhaps you have not had much training or you are not sure your communication skill are up to par for the leadership role in the new company you are joined. So while you have been told interpersonal skills are important, management roles often come as an reward to people who perform well at their jobs but get little training in being an effective manager itself. However, to cultivate their leadership style, improve the mental health of their team members, and encourage the production of their employees' best work. So, according companies fall to choose the candidate with the right talent for the job 82% of the time, yet a bad manager can cost a company thousands of dollars a year. So you have round up some actionable tips to improve those all important leadership skills. So considering the most managers are judged by their ability to get team managers to meet certain performance metrics, it's worth investing in employees accountability software that gets employees to focus on tasks without the work day by day. So first of all we discuss about get to know your team. So regardless of whether you are a new manager or you have been in that position for a while, it's important to get to know your team first as a manager. So they are all individuals with different strengths, competencies, and motivations, and an effective leader will be able to utilize their individual quirks, so characteristics to increase employee engagement, foster a better work environment, or build trust through active listening. Now, one co-worker may not be the most fun to be around, but they are the most high performing worker you have. So while another throughness leaves sometimes to be desired, but they are great at customer engagement. If you are aware of their strengths and weaknesses, you will be able to assign tasks that play to those strengths to get better results for your team. Employee engagement is a two-way street, and leaders who know their staff well have a better chance at creating a work culture that supports the business vision and goals in the long run in organizations. If you are taking over from another manager, it's always a good idea to talk to them one on one before you start. So it will provide you with helpful informations on both the team and your process produces project management style. So team building activities or informal get-togethers can be a great way to connect too. And as most of your day-to-day interactions with your team are of a strictly professional nature, it's nice to converse in a more amicable way once in a while. Now, the second point is establish trust by maintaining an open door policy. Once you have done the groundwork to get to know your team and establish a relationship with them, the next step is to create an environment in your organizations where they can bring their ideas to the table or to the table. have their feedback heard, as well as received valuable constructive criticism from their teammates. Great leaders create an open door policy by asking team questions, paying attention, giving credit where it's due, engaging with staff regularly, and accepting and actions on feedback swiftly. This is where soft skills like communications and conflict resolutions come into leadership development. Now create an open door policy by asking questions and accepting an action on feedback swiftly. That's the main point. Clear and direct communication increases collaborations, motivations, and enhances effective problems solving skills. Let's take an example of a foreign language school in which the employees, the teachers, interacts with the customers, the students, and their parents daily. So teachers solve problems but also discover new approaches, teaching techniques, and types of management skills. If the principal maintains an open door policy and these teachers are comfortable sharing their insights, he will be able to implement their innovations throughout the school and improve his business. If there are any problems with the students or conflicts with the teacher, his effective communications will also allow him to get wind of the early. It's important to catch problems before they first fester and get out of hand. It's equally important to be consistent in showing attention to your employees when they come to know with questions or feedback and how to follow up on their queries. Don't leave them hanging. After all, you are working together, a goal together, as so being on the same page is crucial. Now, the third point is set clear goals and share the big picture. When you step into a managerial role, it is imperative to clearly communicate your goals to the team. Goals create a structured environment and clear objectives to work towards. So, establishing why something needs to be done instead of just how and when helps foster creativity and initiatives also. So, keep the SMART technique in mind when you are communicating goals to your team. Keep the goals specific, such as we want to become the highest selling in the company, measurable, achievable. We will do so we making and more calls a day. This means the time we spend on each call must be reduced by number of minutes, relevant, time bound, so that the way there is no confusion about what the team is aiming to collaboratively achieve, why they are doing it, and when it need to be accomplished. You can use the same approach when creating professional development goals with individual numbers of your team. As a manager, it's easier to allocate time and resources to a goal if it's clear and targeted, and your team is more likely to succeed too. So keep the goals in one place, preferably online, in a way that is accessible to your team or accessible to your team so they can use it as a reference whenever they want. Now, knowing that your work directly affects the company and its objectives keeps you more engaged with your work and the organizations also. Now, number 4 point, schedule regular meeting. Regularly checking in with your team, making them more productive, helps to maintain relationship and provides oversight. When managers check in with them regularly, team members perceive constructive feedback as more meaningful, so they are more motivated and engaged in their work. Booking regular meeting with your team also helps you get to know your team's strengths and weaknesses, as I mentioned earlier. So learn your team's strengths and weaknesses. That's the main point. So there are some key points you can implement to make regular meeting efficient and productive. Now, setting a strict time limit is step number one. Having a set structure for your meetings helps to keep is streamlined. Keep the conversation moving and don't steer off topic. As with the goal setting, making objectives for the meeting clear to everyone involved prior will help to keep the meeting running efficiently. If you make your meeting result oriented, it keeps people engaged with outcomes actions and deadlines on the regular basis. A survey of 182 senior managers by Harvard Business Review showed that 65% of them found that meeting keep them from completing their own work, so make sure they are productive. Now number 5 point. Take action. Regular meetings keep your team engaged and productive. Always remember that. But taking a proactive approach as a manager is just as important. So focus your energy on keeping high level view of your team's objectives and progress so that you can be proactive in your approach if you spot that things you are not going according to plan. If your employees know you have a proactive approach to dealing with situations, their trust in organizations and your ability to deal with their questions and requests will be higher. So it's also important to lead by example. Do you want your employees to be on time? Work on your time management skills and make sure you are on time too. Do you want people to communicate openly and work efficiently? Show them the way. Now clearly articulating your guiding principles and values to your staff will help them focus on what's important in your organizations and waste less time on what's not. If you can build a good reputation as a leader, if you are decisive or deceived while being empathetic to differing viewpoints at the same time. So wisely knowing when to take actions or when to choose to bide your time is what will set you apart from others. Now number 6, strengthen decisions making and avoid micromanagement. So micromanagement is looking at the way someone functioning in their job under a microscope. You may think it's helpful, but it's not. It might be difficult to see someone make mistakes and refrain from butting in and changing the course of actions. But however difficult, it's crucial you allow them autonomy. So the summarized form is don't micromanage and allow some autonomy. So once your team grows, you won't have the capacity to keep such close eyes on your team anyway. Micromanagement damages your employees' trust, makes you lose track on the bigger picture, and often increases the employee turnover rate. Being a micromanager is often a sign of some deeper trust issues with your team. If you feel that you cannot rely on the team, you should address these issues as soon as possible. So you have to start by trusting that someone else can do the job as well as you would if you allow your staff to make their own decisions and show your faith in them. It will make them feel more confident in their job and therefore more engaged in your company. Now, number 7 point, admit mistakes and offer solutions. We learn this when you are young. Never pass the blame onto someone else. Yet, as adults, we often still point the finger at others when things don't go according to plan. So humility is a skill set all of its own. So as a manager, you are bound to some mistakes along the way. It's important you acknowledge those vulnerabilities equal strength. Learn from what you did wrong and use that knowledge to teach others to avoid the same mistakes. You don't have to apologize for every little mistake you make, and neither does your staff. Empathy is a handy guidance tool to use whenever you are not sure whether you should admit a mistake and apologize. You don't have to apologize for every little mistake you make, and neither does your staff. Empathy is a handy guidance tools to use whenever you are not sure whether you should admit a mistake and apologize to anyone. If you put yourself in your employee's shoes and you think you had appreciate an apology for a mistake that was made when you were probably should as a manager. So more importantly, instead of dwelling on the mistake, be solution oriented. Being transparent in your communications with your team helps to create work environment built on trust. So lead by examples and fall openly. If you set the example that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you work on solution, your team will do the same. Now number 8, offer the right incentives to make top performers stay. So employee turnover can cost an employer 33% of an employee's annual salary. That's a lot. So reducing the number of staff who leave and incentivize top performers to stay is a money saving strategy. So still there are more ways to incentivize your employees than just financially. Showing gratitude towards your team members is always a good idea, not just when you know they may be looking at new opportunities. So don't underestimate the power of saying thank you. Publicly giving credit to your team members is a great way to show they are valued to you and also to your company. So always respect your subordinate staff. That I want to mean. So employees turnover can cost an employer 33% of an employee's annual salary. Now to keep your top performing employees around, make sure they are engaged and challenged in their job. They are your top performers precisely because they are clever, proactive and curious. So make sure you feed their drive for new informations and challenges to avoid boredom. So inevitably that some of your employees do move on. So make sure you conduct good exit interviews and maintain professional relationship with team. Not only do you never how or know when they may come back to your organizations, but keep in mind that both current and former employees are brand ambassadors for your organizations. Now number 9, get organized. The more organized you are, the better you will be at managing your team. Efficient management of your own workload and that of your team also. So lower stress, increase productivity and prevents people from feeling overwhelmed. Having an accurate high level view of your team's goals and objectives make it easier to prioritize tasks for both yourself and your staff also. The software helps that you project and task management applications help you have a clear overview of everyone's progress, while scheduling software and also helps with shift and overload or workload organizations. So no one wants to work overtime due to poor organizations, which is why you should leverage these tools. One of the most important lessons for a first-time manager is that delegating tasks is crucial to success. Letting go of control over certain situations will prevent micromanagement. give your team the opportunity to grow and learn new skills and allow a higher level of productivity overall. So, however, delegation depends on good organizations, which means you need to accurately prioritize tasks and projects and allocate enough resources to each activity you assign. Now, number 10, keep learning. It's easy to forget about your own personal development when you are focused on your team, but to the best manager for your employees, you need to set aside some time to continue your own education, trying attending management courses both online and in person to keep on top of your game. So it's also a great idea to read extensively, not just a management topic, but also more widely. You never know where you might learn something that you will prove useful to you at work, at your workplace. There are different management styles to educate yourself on, and it may take a while to figure out what approach works best of your team. So lifelong learning is a cornerstone of your more fulfilling and happier life. So block out a few hours a week to allow yourself to take a new information and learn new skills of management. Now, number 11 point, find a mentor. While job shadowing is helpful at any stage in your career, it's especially important for first time managers. Finding a mentor either within your organizations or externally can provide some much needed guidance to help you find your feet. The key to finding a good mentor is networking and relationship building. Start your finding a person you look up to and get to know them better in organic way, in addition to having more experience. So now present yourself with confidence. Good managers have some leadership qualities in common. So curiosity, confidence, empathy, humor, optimism, and self-awarenesses. Still, you may not feel very confident when you are just starting out, or if you are a senior manager who just got a new team. So it's important to project confidence even if you are not feeling it. Your attitude reflects on your team and affects their behavior also. So for starter, your insecurity regarding the quality of your work may be interpreted by your employees as your lack of trust in their work. So confidence is infectious, and if you present yourself with self assurance, your team will be more motivated to do their job. So it will also affect the way your supervisors or superiors perceives you. So make sure you maintain good relationship with them, as your team will see you interact with them and copy your behavior. So they be flexible. In business, not everything goes according to plan. It's important to be agile in your approach and change courses when needed. So showing flexibility towards your employees also contributes to a better work environment. So according to research, to grow mindset is one of the key qualities of a manager, successful manager. Simply speaking, it's a belief that intelligence and talent can be cultivated over time. If you have a grow mindset, you enjoy trying out new ways of working with your team and challenging the status quo, meaning you are flexible, you see opportunities and challenges as a way to learn new things and grow. Now, celebrate your team successes. You don't need to wait for your team to achieve big milestones before celebrating their successes. Getting in the habit of praising small achievements in a great way to increase your team's engagement and productivity. A study has shown that people whose manager were good at giving credit and recognitions imported the highest morale at work. Try when we try harder, when we feel appreciated. Aim to celebrate success throughout the year, whether it's big or small, and personal achievements or a team effort. You don't have to do it all by yourself thought. You should ask your team to share their month's success stories or create a company wide initiatives that share success stories on the company's internet or instance. So, what tips will you implement to become a better manager? Becoming a great manager doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of time, effort, and continuously learning to improve. But the results are worth the time and energy. You may see an increase in your staff's productivity and engagement and motivations whether you focus on celebrating your team's successes more, get better at admitting your mistakes, or take the time to recognize their workloads better. Your team will appreciate it. So that's for the video, my friends. Thanks a lot watching my blogs. Thanks a lot. Please subscribe, comments on my channels. Please share my videos also. Thanks a lot for watching.